Who is this woman and why is she important? Before I tell you who she is, I'll tell you why she's important and maybe you'll be able to remember her. She was a pioneer for women's sexual and reproductive health, partly responsible for the legalization of the first ever oral contraceptive pill. Her name was Margaret Sanger. Never heard of her before, have you? Well, that all changes starting now. At the same time as Adams, another powerful female reformer emerged in Margaret Sanger. Sanger was born in Corning, New York in 1879 to a Catholic family with 11 children. When Sanger lost her mother, she related her death to the toll of having so many children, as was common at the time. Margaret Sanger moved to New York City before World War I, where she attended Claveret College and became a registered nurse at the White Plains Hospital. As Sanger practiced nursing on the Lower East Side of New York, she witnessed the relationship between poverty, uncontrolled fertility, high rates of infant and maternal mortality, and deaths from botched and illegal abortions. Sanger was unable to give these women contraceptives as they were illegal at the time. Comstock laws, which were anti-birth control statutes, blocked women from receiving birth control, defining contraceptives as obscene and illicit, banning the distribution of contraceptives and banning even the distribution of information about birth control. These laws were passed in 1873 and went unchallenged until Margaret Sanger. While working for the New York Call, Sanger created her own newspaper, The Woman Rebel. After publishing The Woman Rebel in 1914, Sanger also authored and published a pamphlet, Family Limitation. Both of these publications advocate for birth control, a term which Sanger invented and began to use to inform women about contraceptives. Family Limitation debunked myths about when and how to prevent pregnancy and gave suggestions for more reliable methods of prevention. After her works were published, Sanger faced significant prosecution under the Comstock Act, and she was forced to flee from the United States to Britain until 1916. Once the government had agreed not to prosecute her, as they feared significant backlash, Sanger was able to return. However, Sanger did not let any impending threats deter her, and she opened the first birth control clinic in the United States in 1916. She was convicted for this crime and served 30 days in jail. Sanger's time in jail provided publicity that made birth control a matter of public debate and gained her immense sympathy. In 1917, Sanger began a magazine called the Birth Control Review, which continued to challenge the beliefs and attitudes held about contraceptives and sought to continue to distribute knowledge about birth control and feminine hygiene. In 1923, she established the American Birth Control League, which grew up to be Planned Parenthood Federation of America. For the next several years, Sanger continued to tour the country, giving lectures on the necessity of and educating the greater public about birth control. As mindsets began to shift, family planning became more accepted. In 1950, Margaret Sanger contacted scientist Gregory Pincus for help with developing an oral contraceptive with a guaranteed success rate and minimal side effects. The first oral contraceptive, referred to as the pill, made its debut in 1957 and was able to inhibit the menstrual cycle, therefore preventing pregnancy. However, this pill was still technically illegal. In 1965, Sanger secured what might have been her greatest victory against the law when the Supreme Court ruled that a ban on birth control was unconstitutional. The FDA approved the sale of oral contraceptives, and there was 1.2 million users of Sanger and Pincus's pill after just 2 years. Margaret Sanger's demonstration of passion and resilience in her campaign for women's reproductive rights established her legacy as a courageous leader who brought about a new type of empowerment for women and their families. Sanger granted women a fundamental human right and significantly aided in the women's movement pushing for reform at the time.